For instance, Cardinal Wyszynski and John Paul II, they were all both Marian figure. You see, so they were influenced by Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Poland during communist era, you see, was 90% just Polish and Catholic, wow. A bloc. So they couldn't break it. You see, the communists couldn't break. Like, for instance, they broke in Czechoslovakia, Romania, and Hungary. You see, but Poland was resisting. Yeah, I was sent to Lvov, which is today is Ukraine, okay. Eastern Poland. A large city, right. Very Polish, but Stalin had another plans, you see. Right. He incorporated Eastern Poland into Soviet Union. But Stalin was suspicious of Hitler, yeah. And waited how he will succeed in fighting Poles. Right. You see, when he saw that the German tanks overran Poland, you see, and we didn't have much of those equipment. Sure. So then he attacked from the 17 days later, from the east. The occupation, you see, we knew that people were being arrested during the nights and shipped to Siberia. But we never thought, you see, we never suspected that they will take us. Okay. They took me to Siberia from the street. Wow. Yeah, I was waiting for they asked us to take Russian citizenship, and I refused. I refused because my family was in the western part of Poland, so I didn't want to separate, you see, from. Right. And I thought that I will return to the west, western Poland. They came to the monastery and said that I have to get a paper, a temporary paper, you see. Otherwise, they could arrest me in the street. Okay. If I have nothing, no document with me, you see. So I believed, and I went to the police station to get this paper, you see, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, because I wanted to get almost first and then return for the philosophy sessions, lessons. And I was only in my pants, in my shirt. It was beautiful time, you see, June, in June. And I was staying there maybe 6 or 7 hours, waiting. And there were many others. They were waiting also. And at one time, a soldier came out and said with a rifle, you see, said to us that, listen, you hamper people to go on the side, you see, on the street. So please go into the courtyard of the police, you see, into the courtyard. When we went into the courtyard, you see, they arrested us all. Niepokalano for me is like a credo, a spiritual credo. Yeah, I always return to the spirit of Maximilian Kolbe.
Even today?
Even today. When I was studying theology in Beirut, Lebanon, so because I was a layman, so I was in the, I had a diocesan seminary in Castleck for 4 years. And when it came to ordination, so I had to choose either to be under the bishop jurisdiction or a monk. You see, the Jesuits asked me to join him because this was the Jesuits' university, and there were some Polish Jesuits. But St. Francis and St. Maximilian Kolbe, they drew me back. They drew me back. And even my spiritual director, Father Valencin, a Jesuit, who was a Jew, you see, told me, this is a good choice. You have to get back to your roots, to St. Francis and Maximilian Kolbe. And I didn't know that Maximilian Kolbe was killed in Auschwitz at the time. Maybe when I came to Canada.
Wow, so this is
47.
47.
47, yeah. Love of God and love of neighbor. Two loves. When Germans asked him, you see, or ordered him to send all the friars back home, so he told them, remember love, remember love. Love of the Blessed Virgin Mary, naturally, but first, love of God and love of neighbor. When he finished high school, college, and applied for the novitiate, so some lay people and our priest, you see, they discussed each application. And when it came to Raymond Kolbe, his name was Raymond, not Maximilian, Raymond Kolbe. So one of the professors stood up and said, it would be a loss for the world to put him behind, you see, in the convent. He would be lost for Poland. He would be lost for the world, because according to me, he is a genius. Genius in mathematics, genius in physics. Physics. In 1907, he already prepared, you see, in how to shoot the rocket to the moon, you see, and how much it would be, they would have to have what kind of thrust
and fuel
to shoot it. You see, so he said, I cannot, I am his professor, I cannot follow his thoughts. He is so bright. So he could be another Copernicus, or Galileo, or Newton. So it's better to send him to the university, not to seminary. our provincial answered him and said that I agree, you might be a genius, as you say, in mathematics and physics, but I will tell you, we have in spirituality, we have geniuses also, and we call them saints. So it's settled, you see. And when they discussed the name for the applicant, so because of the kind of discussion they made, you see, they chose Maximilianus, the greatest, you see, the Maximilianus, the greatest. So when Maximilian Kolbe got the news that he was named not Raymond, but Maximilianus, he said, "Hurrah! I want to be the greatest." But in what? In loving people and loving God.
Wow.
See, true loves. So I would bring out these two loves as his motto of his life. Yeah.
Well, that fits his death as well, because he gave up his own life out of love of God and love of the neighbor.
This is he proved by giving up his life that he loved God and loved neighbor.
What did you think when you first heard that, as far as the details of his death?
About what?
The fact that he died in place of somebody else.
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised because he was when he came from Japan. So he told the friars, you see, that he has been promised heaven, but don't ask more. He had such a he must have had a vision in Japan, and our Blessed Virgin Mary told him that he will be in heaven, so that he wanted to share this. He couldn't stand, you see, to have this secret all alone. So he said to friars, "Yeah, I have been promised heaven, but don't ask more. Don't ask more." Who told him where it was? You see, no.